Like, subscribe, and comment. Tiger is the beast.
Hi and welcome. In today's video, we are going to cover everything you need to know about the direction cosine. Imagine a vector in 3 dimensions. We have the three axes, the x-axis, the y-axis, and the z-axis. Then assuming we have a vector v, v is a vector that extends in both the x-axis, y-axis, and z-axis. I mean, it extends in both the x, y, and z directions. Now, if you draw the vector separately with each axis, you'll end up with something like this. So assuming this is the x-axis, this is the y-axis, this is the z-axis, and this is our vector v. Let's call it v. And again, this is our vector v. And this is the same vector v. So assuming in the x-axis, in the x direction, v has moved how many units? Vx units. In the y-axis, the vector v has moved vy units. And in the vector z, in the z direction, the vector v has moved vz units. Now, from trigonometry, we know that this is the opposite side, this is the adjacent side, and this is the hypotenuse side. So we know that cos theta is given by adjacent over hypotenuse. And so, for our case, we usually say that alpha is the angle between the x-axis and the vector, beta is the angle between the y-axis and the vector, and gamma is the angle between the z-axis and the vector. So this implies that cos alpha will be equals to adjacent over hypotenuse, where adjacent is Vx and the hypotenuse is the magnitude of the vector V. Again, cos beta will now become Vy over the magnitude of the vector V. Similarly, cos gamma will be Vz over the magnitude of vector V. That is to say, the adjacent side of the hypotenuse. Since this is our angle alpha, this is our angle beta, and this is our angle gamma. Cos alpha is Vx over the magnitude of V, cos beta is Vy over the magnitude of V, and cos gamma is Vz over the magnitude of V. Now, let us take a look at a problem. The question reads, Find the direction cosine of vector A equals 3i plus 4j plus 5k. So the solution, the first step is to find the magnitude of the vector A. And the magnitude of vector A is given by the square root of 3 square plus 4 square plus 5 square, which is equals to the square root of 9 plus 16 plus 25, which is equals to square root of 50. So cos alpha will be ax over the magnitude of A, will be ax over the magnitude of vector A, which is equals to ax is 3 over the magnitude of A is root 50. Then cos beta will now become ay over the magnitude of A, which will be 4 over root 50, and cos gamma will be az over the magnitude of A, which will be 5 over root 50. Up to this point, we have answered the question. But we can go ahead and find what the angle alpha is. Of course, alpha will be the cos inverse of 3 over root 50. Beta will be the cos inverse of 4 over root 50. And gamma will be the cos inverse of 5 over root 50. So alpha will be equal to 64.9 degrees. Beta will be equal to 55.6 degrees, and gamma will be equal to 45 degrees. Though this is the answer, but it is also important to understand the angles alpha, beta, and gamma. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more.
Like, subscribe, and comment. Tiger is the beast.